I'm Tom Seng. I'm currently the director of the School of Energy, Economics, Policy, and Commerce at the University of Tulsa in the Collins College of Business. I've always been about energy conservation. Literally, my first semester in undergraduate college was also the first oil embargo. And so the university was using fuel oil for their boilers. They sent us home for 5 weeks at Christmas, which is now the norm. But when we returned in the spring, there were these little red, white, and blue placards around every light switch. And it said, conserve energy, turn the lights off when you leave. And so that has just always stuck in my mind. I mean, we have bountiful energy in the United States, but we don't need to be gluttons. I am a light switch person. If I see lights on and nobody's around. So I've always kind of had that appreciation that, you know what, it could go away or it could cost us. I fell into the energy industry. I was literally working for a natural gas company here in Tulsa in 1985 when my wife and I bought our first house. There was a company that was doing solar installations back then, but passive solar, the type that creates hot water. So I did that in 1985. When I went to Peru and I saw how simple it was, the setup, I kind of thought, well, surely at some point in time, the cost of these panels is going to come down and it'll make sense from a residential standpoint. So I looked at it, I liked the deal. I'm also a gadget person. I'm also a first adopter in a lot of different things. And I thought, now, you know what, it's time. So I told them I did want to proceed, but I needed to check with the Homeowners Association. The way that they were going to set it up, I personally knew you could not see it from the street, which is the big bugaboo with Homeowners Association. It was a very exciting project. Coincidentally, this past summer, I'm also teaching the power course that I teach in the Master of Energy Business program. So I thought, this is going to be great. I shared every bit of the process with my students. The agreement with the solar company, the agreements that I had with AEP PSO, because you have to have a net metering agreement, you have to have a purchase agreement. I sent them my plans, all the photos of the project. I kept them informed in terms of how things were going. And I also showed my students photocopies of my utility bills. The neat thing about it was, as a teaching tool, there are so many concepts involved with this, not just solar and PV and residential solar, but residential solar is distributed generation. Net metering is another concept that you get across to them. Time of use. In other words, I'm electricity at times that I'm not using it, but it's peak on the grid. And then off-peak, basically, when the sun isn't up, when at nighttime, I'm pulling power in from the grid, but prices are cheaper then. It's also another form of demand response. During PSO's peak times this past summer, I know I was helping them in some small degree by pumping power into the grid. So it's really it's a great tool. It's experiential, and at TU, we're all about experiential. It's one thing to stand in front of a classroom, but if you can show students how things work, and like I said, this entire process, I had them engaged, sharing with them step by step what was going on.